Aloha, friends and neighbors. Rollin Frost here, Kona astrologer, and I'm going to go through the middle week of January 2018 for you. Let's see, as I see it right now, Uranus stationed for you only 10 days ago, so you're still in Uranus consciousness, huh? I'm back here on December 22nd on the solstice, and I don't have any idea what happened to my prediction of West Coast earthquake. You may already know. Time differences. Astrology is the study of time, okay? And I've been presenting it to you for 1,102 weeks. Hey, here's the thing. I shoot this one take, and all the writing is one. I don't erase anything. So if I make a little mistake, you see me go over it, I just leave them. That's why you see some of my graphics and some things a little messy at times. Anyway, Uranus, brotherhood. While we're at it, look, I want to thank some of the angels that came to my aid with small gifts and thank you notes during the difficult period I went through with Uranus squaring my sun and Neptune opposing my moon. Oh boy. So let's see. Should I do this now? Okay. Let me give you a short thing on Santa Claus. I grew up all my life loving Christmas. I loved Santa Claus and the presents. The sun's at 3-4 Capricorn. That's my Venus. So I grew up in a lovely middle-class home in Oakland with Santa Claus, and Christmas was wonderful. And when I was young, I didn't acquaint it too much with the birth of Jesus. But that happened later, So here I am now. I'm 76. My God. I'm still having trouble reconciling Santa Claus with the manger and the three wise men, and two things mixed together. So I'm going to shock you a little bit and tell you the truth about Santa Claus right now. Okay, Christmas is a pagan festival. A lot of your stuff, even the days of your week, come from the North Country and the Northern culture. But this is about the people who lived far north. And what happened was they get snowed in. They're snowed in the house. My goodness. Back in the days of when religion was real, in the pagan days, the sun was father, the moon was mother. And there you are sitting in your cabin with 20 feet of snow on you. Well, the only thing that stuck out of the cabin was the chimney. So if you wanted to get out or get in, you had to go through the chimney. Okay? Santa Claus comes through the chimney. Well, who was he? Who he was a shaman of the Nordics cultures, and he was there like a doctor visiting people to help you out. And what did he do? Well, he had to come down the chimney for one. He wore this red stuff so he wouldn't be mistaken for a deer and shot by somebody with a bow. Hunters wear red. Yeah, so anyway, here's the shaman, and he shows up at your door or down your chimney, and he brings these big round orange objects that are actually mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, as medicine for you. Now, you couldn't take them dry. You had to, wet, you had to dry them out. So you put them on your mantle, these round orange things. Okay, there's your ornaments. And they're good for people who are snowed into a cabin for months and months. And, oh boy, these help you with your sanity and reality. And that's what the shaman did. He brought the medicine. The other thing that goes on is that you've been in that cabin a long time. It's going to get gamey, huh? It's going to stink, frankly. And so what's the best thing to put in a stink cabin? A nice fir tree, a Christmas tree. They smell so good. Yeah? So that's the other thing that got brought down the chimney was a Christmas tree, which would fill your whole cabin with wonderful scents, fir tree scents. So we got the psilocybin mushroom. The shaman goes back out the chimney. Everybody, and after they dry out, you have the right medicine to continue your sanity through a few more months of being snowed in. And you probably renew the tree every now and then, so that, otherwise that cabin's going to get really gamey, isn't it? So there's the truth about Santa Claus. That's who he was. That's where it comes from. And they would celebrate him on the solstice because he was the guy that came and helped you out in the worst part of the winter. And that's the truth about Santa Claus. Flashback. Okay, let's talk about your next 10 days back in your normal reality. I've got a chart here. Mars is pretty close to Jupiter yet. See him? I made some notes. Mars is sextiling the Sun. Jupiter is sextiling Pluto. So we got Pluto and the Sun together over here. Very powerful. Investigate. New research. Yeah? Sextiling Jupiter, the truth and the wisdom, and Mars, the heroes. So there's a nice sextile going on here. Of course, you're still caught up in the last new moon on Sagittarius, that prior, oh boy, that was a new moon for Trump, and I hate to even say his name. And boy, they boys got together and ripped us all off. Of course, the full moon you had was pretty good at trine Neptune, and maybe Neptune's doing less evil, and the drugs and the doctors, and no, wait a minute, they just they sunk Obamacare, the sneaky boss politicians. So a lot of people running amok now on this new moon. It stops in the next new moon, which is January 16th. Happens to be my birthday, actually on the 17th with progression. But here, this is a new moon at 26, almost 27 Capricorn. It squares Uranus. It's going to block Uranus, block the unions, block that lovely feeling you had of joining with everybody to do environmental work or brotherhood, or what did the Mayans say? In Lak'ech, I am another you. Or at least standing back a little bit and having a philosophy that, you're the spirit riding in the body. That's, yes, the undying spirit. You're the same at age. I'm 76. I'm the same now as I was at age 70. That spirit, it doesn't change. Personally, even though Uranus squared my sun, and I'm having a Lelo who doesn't want to take DVDs, I can see I might not broadcast. I'm having all these Uranian difficulty. Well, doggone if Uranus didn't come along and sideways show me how to do it myself and said, listen, the internet's a lot better place for your show, and it's better for people, much better for people. They can watch it anytime they want. So here's my notes. Stop watching this on public access. It's not stable. And these guys are messing with me, both on Maui and Honolulu. All of them, the only one doesn't is Kauai, bless their hearts. The rest of them, they're on thin ice. So you should get used to using, YouTube. Get used to, watching the show on my website or YouTube, and you can watch it anytime you want. It's convenient for you, and you can watch it in other places. And people who don't have the luxury of a big desktop computer and a big TV and cable and all that stuff can watch it too. Anyway, I'm seeing the advantages. Ha 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 ha. Something didn't work. Somebody I'm doing it myself. Turned out much cheaper. Hooray! So Uranus is not always a bad guy altogether. He is a benefic. Even at his worst with me, he's gifted me with new little kind of non-traditional ideas that turned out to work very well indeed. Maybe one day I'll be free of the electric company and the cable. So I hope Uranus did you some good. It certainly did it for old Trump, didn't it? 26 degree. Trined his Leo rising at 29. Well, anyway, a lot of that beautiful revolutionary spirit and that zap of seeing an Aquarian viewpoint is going to be taken away after this. Just for a month, when the new moon squares it. The wind will calm down. The earthquakes will calm down, etc. So, that's good news, in a way. Unless you're Mr. Trump. Where are the unions? Let's go by it day by day. I'm running the moon around the edge of this chart, and as the moon goes through each day, it makes angles. 120 degree trine, 90 degree square. So here, if you're back in Wednesday, Jupiter and Mars are there, Wednesday and Thursday even, and you got energy, and everybody's running fast. Then the moon goes into Sagittarius late Thursday night, and it starts to change. And as you go through Friday, well, it's more and more confusing. Friday night, here the moon hits 12 degrees of Sag, and it squares old Neptune down here, and it's confusion and delusion, and people are drinking too much again, and they're being foolish, a lot of rip-offs, a lot of water problems, a lot of mold, water, liquids, booze, doctors, drugs, same old Neptune. Tez Pat Cat Lapoca, you can get us all drunk. And look out, don't touch the girl on her butt, she'll ruin your career. Scandal, that's what Neptune loves. So as Neptune stopped the end of November, that was the peak of your scandals. Still kind of going on. Anyway, there it is Friday night. Don't get yourself in a scandal and stay away from the waters and the booze. Saturday, moon still in Sagittarius. Changes a lot Saturday night. Here's a new moon point that was so nice to the not my president dude. And here's a trine to Uranus technical support late Saturday night, early Sunday. So the revolutionary spirit is there. It's loose on you Saturday afternoon and evening, and even Sunday morning early. But as you go more Sunday towards 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the moon goes by Saturn, and you won't be thinking about the union and the brotherhood and no common sense. Now you're going to be thinking about some boss that's made decisions and laws and aggrandized himself, and he made himself money. And he ripped us all off. And Saturn, why do we need all these signs and lines and laws? We're freezing ourselves into a corner. That's what it's like. And you'll know more about that Sunday afternoon as the moon goes by Saturn. It's going to set off that. I warned you, there's going to be a nasty New Year holidays with that moon Saturn set off by the new moon, Mercury retrograde. Oh, well. Here's Mercury. He's gone direct for you, but here's Monday morning, moon goes by Mercury. You can get out and run and talk and communicate, and it feels pretty doggone good. There's power Monday night. Here the moon's going to go by Pluto and give you control and power over things and good investigations, and it's sextiling Jupiter. And so there's going to be revelations Monday night. Yeah. Maybe the FBI will finally tell us the truth. About what? UFOs? No, I think it's late. But here's the new moon point in Capricorn, and it squares Uranus, and it's going to happen, about lunchtime in the middle of Tuesday, January 16th. Now, this is not a day to expect Uranus will behave. The batteries will go dead. The power will go out. There'll be lots of irritations, all electrical. Twist the connectors. And then transportation and media, all these things with motors and things that use wires and electricity. They're not stable. This new moon, you'll know how it hits your chart when you go through this new moon here Tuesday. If there's irritating little power outages and bad batteries and, your car battery doesn't work, go out and just knock it with a rock right on the terminals. Sometimes that fixes. First easy fix. I'm an old mechanic. So, you get a month of this coming up, and I'm sure I'm not going to be happy. I'm trying to get ahead a bunch of shows, so when this hits me again, and Olela says, sorry, can't air your DVDs anymore, and you're going to miss the show, go to YouTube, Astrology with Rollin Frost. Go to skymirrorastrology.com/TV. The shows are there. You get them early. You can do them anytime. So I know there's going to be shakiness. mid-January, and it's going to be around my house too. So I don't know what it is yet. Extra batteries. So you got the new moon Tuesday, okay, and Venus is there and Uranus is there, and has a whole different flavor. Everybody feels a little weird and left out. What, me join the union? No, I'm scared. So independence, freedom, that whole feeling, the courage of common sense, is going to be blocked. And science. Can't believe what they're doing in our government about global warming. The science is so clear, and what the hell? I don't want to get on it. Sorry. Wednesday, the moon's in Aquarius on the 17th. Not much doing. Thursday, moon's still in Aquarius. Squares Jupiter. Everybody's overdoing it. Thursday night, there's a square to Mars. People are ticked off. There's a lot of road rage going on here or something. Because Mars is not happy. No. And most of that occurs late Thursday night. Little Brotherhood comes in. There's a sextile to Uranus. If you still got any around, might help you out of the fight Thursday night. Friday morning, after breakfast, before lunch, the moon shifts into Pisces. It's going to sextile Saturn in the afternoon of Friday, and you'll feel kind of organized. And maybe all those guys in suits and ties know what they're doing. Is that what this is all about? We somehow use these bogus elections to bring people to the top to tell us what to do and make laws. And the whole system just reeks of, look at this situation we're in. It happens in companies and organizations. I got one of these bosses gets up there, he gets lots of guys under him who just, yep, oh, yes, sir, boss. And all the Republicans always vote one way. Dump global warming, we don't care about that. Doggone phone keeps ringing. Different robots, anyway, interrupting me. So it got you through the Tuesday new moon and Thursday night road rage, and you're organized Friday with Saturn, huh? Nice. On Saturday, the moon's still in Pisces, and it's going to go by Neptune, and there could be some dreamy good stuff here. Neptune took that nice full moon at 12 Cancer, and so, the priest-artist doctors are behaving. It could be good music. Try Bach and Beethoven instead of, modern music kind of sucks, huh? I mean, you got to go back to Woodstock to get good music, and go back further for great. Anyway, there should be some good stuff around on Saturday, and good fish, and good liquids, and good bourbon, and etc. Hope you enjoy it. Good day to celebrate January 20th, Saturday. There's a sextile to Mercury. Kids are happy. There's Jupiter in trine. People are laughing, and they're feeling decisive and in control Saturday night. About 11 or midnight when the moon sextiles Pluto. In fact, they did so well that Sunday morning here, Sunday during the middle of the day, the moon's still in Pisces, and there's a sextile to Mars, or trine to Mars. So people are out doing physical stuff. So you couldn't have overdone the booze too much. You're out working Sunday. Good for you. Hey, up ahead, let's see, here's Monday, Tuesday, next Wednesday, moon goes by Uranus. But the new moon squared it, so, why worry over it? Oh boy, the Earth will... The United States is not the only country battling, who's concerned with global warming. The rest of the world does it, and we don't. Well, that's just tough luck for Republicans and for us. Okay, here's some last words about Uranus while it's still in your head. I'm 76. I can easily remember back 60 years ago. I remember getting up Saturday mornings for kids' radio programs. All we had was radio. I must have been 9 or 10 when the first TVs came into our block and to the first neighbor. So I went to radio, and the first TV's black and white, huh? And when I look back, what I see is this march of media. Then there was color TV. Oh boy, that was a big thing. And then there's, And there's VHS and tapes and recordings, and there's DVDs, and then there's play decks and camcorders and make your own stuff, and all this stuff, all these inventions happen bang, 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 bang in 10, 20 years or so. Now you got digital phone in your pocket, and you got the internet. Oh boy, here's another whole innovation from Uranus. Really unites us and gets us together, but at the same time, that telephone, that's the first one, huh? Ring. If you think about this, there's a guy named Marshall McLuhan that studied media. Great book. The medium is the message. If you want to study this, he's the guy to start with. There was the telegraph, which was abbreviated conversations. And then we got the phone, and we didn't have to just use main words. We could more full paragraphs. There was the phonograph. Remember, 45s, 78. I saw some 78 RPM records. And then it went to 33 1/3, and you got hi-fi, and the stereo, and the sound on the records got better and better. You know what? Corporate America got in there. Tapes are interesting, and if you have enough tracks and you're running at a decent speed, you can get a good quality of music out of it. But next thing you know, there's 2 tracks and 4 tracks and 8 tracks trying to get quality. And then music went digital, and we got CDs, and I've just been learning about what an MP3 is. They compress it. All the music that I hear now that's digital, there's no top crackle. You go back to the old records, and what did they used to say? Vinyl is final. Yes. And the guys that really want the good sound, they go back and get glowing vacuum tube amplifiers and play records. And man, you really you feel like you're in the concert hall. But now they got digital, and they cut out that stuff, all the top stuff they thought you couldn't hear, and then a lot of the crackle, and now it's dull. They've ruined music. They made it more cheap for them, and they gave it to us, and you know what? We didn't notice. And just a few audio files, MP3s. Well, they did the same thing with television, the black and white. I got to tell you, when I was young, I built a Heathkit color TV, a 26-inch or something. It took like 3 weeks, all vacuum tubes. When I got done, it had 3 guns. It had a special generator on the side, line up all these bars and squares, and you could tune the 3 guns on that color TV to where it was amazing. It was such a fine picture. It looked 3-dimensional, much better than any TVs today. And this was back in the early 50s. So we've lost it. Now we've got digital television. The guys over at Olelo say, no more, can't send in your DVD with video on it. You got to reduce it. You got to put it in MP4. It's going to cut it off. It's going to take the crispness and fidelity off. And, every time this happens, it's basically for the good of the bosses. Corporate people get into something where there's a profit, and then they start messing with it. And, the vinyl, I still have some of my old records, the best sound. But like they did it with food. They took out all the B vitamins, and you got white sugar. The bugs won't eat it. It was good for them. They took the B vitamins and the wheat germ out of the wheat. Bugs won't eat it. White flour, white rice. They took all the stuff your body needs out of it for their own good, for shelf life. And you didn't notice. They did it with cars. They got plastic cars now and electronics that don't last very long. What's going on? Well, these are capitalists in the boss business. When these guys want profit, they're going to take what they can, as long as you don't notice. Yeah, so the coal companies can ruin your air. No more spoilage, though. You didn't notice. MP3, the music's not as good, but you didn't notice. The video, the TV's not as good, but you didn't notice. The boss cuts welfare, food stamps, unions, safety net, like the Republicans are doing. And what the heck? You don't notice there's all these homeless people out there, but you didn't notice. The boss gets rich cutting subtle corners off the commons. There used to be a thing in the center of little towns where people could keep their milk cows, the commons. But some people wanted 2 cows and started ripping off the commons. And that's what happens in capitalism. The plastics take over your landfill. The coal takes over your air. Monsanto ruins your water. Trump takes all the national monuments and reserves that are your land and gives them to oil and mineral and timber. From your land, he takes them and gives them to the corporate bosses. Oh well, we didn't notice. We're noticing now. What I see is public access with too much money and too much people. They don't operate very well and don't operate for people. Uranus can be corrupted. Media companies, power companies, Spectrum is holding us all up for ransom and extracting money. You know, you want your cable TV and your internet? Well, it's going to cost you $100 instead of $50. I mean, these are Uranus organizations. You know, it used to be, that's how Republicans got the union. Union guys are corrupt. They're run by gangsters. So Uranus is not incorruptible. You look what happened to the public access. Look what happens on the Leo show. After my show, you'll see a commercial for the public access station itself that goes on 2 minutes, and all the board of directors and all the people are on there. It's real fancy. You know, they're using my show and they're puffing themselves up. Anyway, Uranus. Shame on you, Uranus. Yep, they even corrupt Santa Claus, the shaman, and outlaw and make illegal the very medicine that he brought to keep us sane, the mushrooms. That's the way it is today. Go to get the free app, Aquarius 2 Go, on your machine, on your little screen. Yeah, and start watching this show on the internet and get yourself more free. That's what it's about.